Okay, Yasmin Osabawi, thank you so much. But let's stay in the American capital and speak to Mark Kimmitt. He's a former U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Political Military Affairs. Thanks so much for your time, Mark. So how much of a reset was this trip? How much the start of a new relationship? Or was it really more of Joe Biden reminding Middle Eastern countries, look, we've been here for decades and we're going to stay?
Well, that message, we've been here for decades and going to stay, is a message I would have liked to have heard. But in fact, what we have is, in effect, somebody who started a fire and is now taking credit for putting it out. We had and have strong relationships with Saudi Arabia. We've had those for many, many years, since the King and President Roosevelt sat down on the Quincy and set up in World War II. But it has only been since this president accused this Crown Prince of being a pariah because of his direct activities in the killing of Jamal Khashoggi that we're seeing all this. So I just find it somewhat contradictory. The United States has been a close ally of Saudi Arabia for years and years, regardless of who the president is, especially this one who created the problem and is now taking credit for fixing it.
So what is Biden then offering? You're mentioning Saudi Arabia specifically. What will he be offering the Saudis in return for a reestablishment of the relationship that you are saying had previously been stronger? Surely a bit of money towards helping fight food insecurity across an area of the world where, certainly in the Middle East, they probably have enough of that money. What can he offer them?
Well, I think the only thing he can offer them in a tangible sense is support for this new missile defense regime that is being set up to defend against Iran. I think what he can offer him is a commitment that the United States will be by them if the Iranians develop a nuclear weapon. The first is new, this new missile defense regime. It has finally come into effect after being worked on for the last 3 presidents. But the second thing, the strong defense against Iran, I think is not something new. It's just a reaffirmation of what the U.S. policy has been for years and years.
And what about Joe Biden's pivot towards Asia then, and where the Middle East fits into that picture in terms of especially how Middle Eastern leaders react to it? Do they just have to ignore it and carry on as before?
No, I don't think that's the case. If there was one thing that President Biden has done is to reaffirm that the pivot to Asia does not mean a pivot away from the Middle East. There were, for years and years, among the leaders in the region, a sense that the United States, by bolstering up the defense against China and Russia, was somehow taking that out of the hide of the U.S. support for the Middle East. Well, with the exception of a few insignificant incidents like northern Syria, we haven't withdrawn our forces. We haven't withdrawn the amount of equipment and protection we've been given. So if the president did anything right, it's to reaffirm the U.S. support for the Middle East while we pivot to Asia.
Mark Kimmitt, always appreciate it. You know that. Thank you so much indeed. Mark Kimmitt in Washington.